My stepmom made my dad choose between me and her. She never expected what happened next. My dad raised me by himself after my mom died when I was 11. For years, it was just the two of us. Saturday pancakes, Sunday baseball games, movie nights where he'd always fall asleep halfway through. He was my best friend. Then, when I was 23, he met Vanessa. She was charming, funny, confident. At first, I genuinely liked her. She'd bring me coffee before work and ask about my college classes. Dad looked happier than I'd seen him in years, so when they got engaged, I was excited for them. But after they moved in together, something changed. It started with little things. If Dad invited me over for dinner, Vanessa would suddenly forget to set my place at the table. If we planned a father-daughter fishing trip, she'd book a surprise weekend getaway for the same dates. Whenever Dad and I laughed about old memories, she'd quietly leave the room. Then one night, I overheard her talking on the phone. I'm not competing with his daughter forever. That sentence stuck with me. A month later, Dad called. His voice sounded nervous. Vanessa thinks we should have healthier boundaries. I laughed. What does that even mean? He hesitated. She thinks maybe we shouldn't see each other every week. I honestly thought he was joking. He wasn't. Soon, weekly dinners became monthly. Monthly became birthdays only. Then, nothing. Every text I sent got a short reply. Every phone call ended after 2 minutes. It felt like I was slowly losing my dad while he was still alive. Then I got engaged. I mailed Dad his invitation first. 3 days later, he called. I don't think Vanessa's comfortable with me coming. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. You'd miss your only daughter's wedding? Long silence. Then he quietly said, I have to think about my marriage. I hung up. I cried for hours. The wedding came. His chair stayed empty. People kept asking where my father was. I just smiled and said, he couldn't make it. 3 years passed. We barely spoke. Then one afternoon, Dad showed up at my front door. He looked exhausted, older, like he'd aged 10 years. Before I could say anything, he asked, can we talk? Turns out, Vanessa had wanted a baby from the moment they got married. But after years of trying, nothing happened. Doctors ran every test imaginable. Finally, they discovered the problem. It wasn't Vanessa. Dad was infertile. The doctor explained it had likely been that way for years. Vanessa stared at him and asked the question that changed everything. If you can't have kids, why did you spend years choosing someone else's? 2 weeks later, she filed for divorce. She told him she'd wasted the last 5 years waiting for a family that was never possible. Dad admitted something I'd never expected. The day I skipped your wedding, I lost the only child I was ever going to have. He broke down crying right there on my porch. I kept thinking I had time to fix it. I was wrong. I didn't yell. I didn't argue. I just looked at him and quietly said, you didn't lose me because of Vanessa. You lost me the day you decided I was optional. For the first time, he had no excuse, just silence. Sometimes karma isn't loud. Sometimes it simply lets you live with the consequences of the choice you made.